if they had a nuclear weapon, there'd be no Israel, there'd be no Middle East, and they would have absolutely shot at us. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them hard yesterday, and we're going to hit them again hard today, in case you miss it, in case you don't turn on your television set. And we'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along.
Shalom. I had an idea today. Yeah, this is Hakam Yara Ben-Emmett. Another short, on-the-road video. Nothing about the Torah, sorry. But the Torah Watchman Show International, my company. I'm the CEO, the big guy, right? Try not to be too big because I lost more than 30 pounds and 4 inches in my waist. How did I do that quickly? Live your life as a Jew, tribal style. That's all I need to say. I had a great idea for people, Americans, who are just lost in the world of social media, the news outlets and everything else, trying to understand what's happening while we were in a conflict in the Middle East, while we were in a war with Iran. Why have we waited 8 weeks in a deal with the IRGC, which the Pentagon of our country is actually classified as a terrorist organization? And as everyone knows in the politics, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, was told, no certain terms, rein in Bibi. He told all his inner circle, rein in Bibi, tell him you are not allowed, unless I order you, this is a sovereign country, I order you to attack Iran. He even told them, I know all of northern Israel down to the Galilee is evacuated. The residents civilians cannot live there in peace. I know this. Well, I want my deal. I don't want my deal to break apart. You know? So don't cause problems. It looks like a strawman's argument to set up Israel, namely Benjamin Netanyahu, who is running for re-election, by the way. I'm not sure he's going to run or not. But say if he is, making him the fall guy if this deal, this Arab broker deal, and it's primarily Arabs running the show, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, member nations, they're running the show with that. But get back to my idea here. Everyone knows in your world history about the Normandy invasion, right? That was a game changer for Europe. It freed Europe and ended World War II, ended Hitler's Third Reich empire that he was building, and eliminated that threat forever, right? And just changed the world. Changed the world in 1945. And of course, saved the Jewish population throughout Europe from extinction. Now, what if, instead of FDR, what if President Donald J. Trump was the president back then? The deal maker, right? What would happen? Well, he probably would have done the same thing. He would have helped the Allied forces. He probably would send planes, tanks, and things over, soldiers or whatever, and key bases, Allied countries, not in enemy territory, but have our soldiers there. Just assume we had a joint tactical force soldiers there at the same time. But he would not approve the Normandy invasion, and he was reluctant to even get started. But he heard rumors that Hitler was developing a nuclear bomb, and he already had advanced, probably state-of-the-art, the very best in the world in around the 1940s, fighter jet technology using jet propulsion. I mean, the Saturn V, a 4 rocket system, that first ICBM they used to launching spacecraft, you know, that was Hitler's design. He had all that advanced engineering going on. But anyway, back to the idea, the use case here. Say England took out Hitler, killed him and his inner circle, most of his generals, right? Well, what was left? Well, it's thousands, tens of thousands of Nazi soldiers, the elite of them, scattered out, not just in Germany, scattered out through Europe, and they were holding that territory still. But the head echelon had been killed, Hitler. Well, they quickly nominated another general of the killing squad to be the Presidente. So what would Trump do? Well, he would try to make a deal. Why? Because he says, I don't want any boots on ground. I don't want a Normandy invasion. Let France take care of it himself, right? That's what he would say. I want to make a deal. Can you imagine that Bob Barker, The Price is Right, making a deal and dealing with the Nazis there, which are equivalent in every respect as the IRGC that murdered 50,000 of their own people, who for 47 years called death to America, who are directly responsible for killing more than 1,000 American soldiers in the field. Yes, in the Gulf War, in the first Gulf War, IUDs, explosive devices in the ground, mines and things like this. You walk on a trip mine, or you're killed, explodes, and Humvee and everything turning over and exploding, all this. Well, these were designed by the Iranians. They had Iranian proxy soldiers in Iraq at that time. They still do. But I'm just saying that was going on. And of course, all the numerous death threats against prior presidents, even President Trump had a death threat against him and other people in Congress, that the FBI and others infiltrated and eliminated that threat before it happened in reality. So you got a country, IRGC, who is the unelected government, like communism, like Nazism, overthrew the democracy that was there, the Western friendly democracy in the 1970s. Everyone knows about the hostage crisis in Jimmy Carter, that overthrow by all those radical students, and eventually formed the IRGC, you know, the Revolutionary Guard there. That was going on. But if Trump was FDR during that time, the Normandy invasion would never occurred. They would have never destroyed or arrested all the SS Nazi troops. They wouldn't have rounded them up. They would have made a deal with them. Maybe punishing sanctions and things like that, but he would leave them in power. So what would happen the rest of Europe? Would he threaten them? He said, you need to remove your troops right now from Poland. You need to remove them from Czech Republic, from Lithuania. You need to remove them from these countries, from France, whatever. You need to remove them. What if they refuse to do that? Well, you have iterations, 1 week, 2 weeks. You have deadlines that slip through, 60 days here and there. You have pot shots at each other occasionally. But still, the delays continue, the slipping red line. The Normandy invasion would never occurred, and probably the majority of the Jewish population in detainment, gas chambers, and everything, that would have been killed, exterminated, and maybe I would not be talking to you right now. Just consider, there's been a lot of sci-fi videos, movies and stuff made about what if, about Hitler, if he wasn't killed, if he stayed in power, if there was Nazi America and things of this nature. These are real futuristic things. But what's happening today reminds me of Normandy. What if something else happened? What if a different president was in power than FDR, who was forced and dragged into World War II because of all those people were murdered, killed in the Pearl Harbor attacks? Take care. Hakam Yarabin signing out. God love you. Peace. Shalom Aleichem.